We are trapped in this world, but I'm also strapped. It's both. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله اللهم صل على محمد. الله 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 صل على محمد وعلى آله. السلام عليكم. We are fortunate as Muslims to have the entire map and the detailed keys, how to read the map, how to drive along the map, how to arrive at the intended destination. With that gift comes also responsibility of accepting the truth, reading the truth, living the truth, and being transformed by the truth. Allah Azza wa Jal declares the truth in that creation, especially at the peak of it, such as human beings, ins as we are, and jinn. He says, I did not create ins and jinn except to worship. To worship, you need to be passionately in love with, desiring the thing, wanting it, and then having the will to go for it. This is the second talk of a series of 4, which I was hoping to share with you all as a package of how do we truly live the truth of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. That is the advantage of the Muslim, of truly pronouncing, trusting, accepting, and then listening, and then being transformed by La ilaha illallah. And it starts by negation. No, there isn't anything that has any self-sustainability, any truth that is lasting, none other except Allah. So it is La and then yes. So last talk was about hijrah. The word in Arabic is hijrah, to cut back, to cut off, to sever, leave behind. Leave whatever is behind, whether it's a place that you don't like, whether it is an unconducive environment, as we did in our human history. Thousands of years ago, 4,000 or 5,000 years ago, most of the 50, 100,000 people who lived in this world just moved on from whatever, there was no sustenance in it for them, an area that became barren, where they have hunted too much and there was nothing alive. So they turned away, they made hijrah upon hijrah upon hijrah. Now hijrah, to sever, to cut off, to turn away, to migrate, has numerous levels. One is the physical one. A home or a country or a situation or a job or a relationship that is not conducive, you turn away from it. Because you and I and he and she and every one of us is programmed seeking wholesomeness, goodness, joyfulness, happiness. So everybody is pursuing their happiness according to the lens that they have developed over their life. So the happiness of a hunter in the Amazonian desert, in Amazonian jungle, is different to the hunter in the Arabian desert. So one of them is looking for little birds and things that are under this canopy of amazing of the rainforest. The other one is trying to see anything that moves on the dunes and so on. So according to your lens, you're trying to achieve and do what you think is good for you at that time. So hijrah is to leave behind that which is not conducive at any level. You leave behind bad thoughts. You leave behind bad intentions. You leave behind enmity and hatred because you're suffering. You leave behind anything that is downgrading. So last week's talk was on hijrah. We also are fortunate as Muslims that we have our calendar based on the hijrah date. Isn't that amazing? The time that the Prophet ﷺ left behind what he loved. And he loved Mecca. And apparently on a number of occasions he referred to that. He said, I had to leave behind that which I loved, And I asked Allah to give me that which He wants me to have and for me to love it. And then he loved his life in Medina. And then again Allah gave him Mecca. So look at the gift of the completeness of reward according to your intention. We have today also a talk on the supplementary side of no, La ilaha. Today's talk is on acting appropriately based on correct and appropriate intentions. Intentions and actions always go together. Intention is like the key to actions. When you come to a door, you look for the right key. And not every key fits every other key, you see. Although we all love to have a master key that opens everything. Because you would like to be powerful, you see. You have this power of I can open anything, open sesame and everything moves, you see. And through credit cards or through whatever numbers, we all love power. Because we love the all-powerful. Where is the all-powerful? Wherever you look is a trace of the all-powerful. فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا ثَمَّ وَجْهَ اللَّهِ. So today's talk is about good intentions and proper actions. Now, if the intentions are good, and goodness has got numerous levels. Good is that it's good for me and my family. Good is for me and my neighbor. Good is for me and humanity. Good. And then eventually it says it is just good in its own perfect way. As the Quran describes it, لا يبتغون منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. It is not to be acknowledged. It is not to be given status. It's not to be... These are fine. There is nothing wrong with them. But they are transactional. You give something, you take something. You give goodness, you receive goodness. But what more? What next? What higher? That is why we are stuck with the amazing gift of Allah Azza wa Jal throughout human history. That these revealed knowledges, layer after layer, time after time, for thousands of years, even if you deny them, you say it's not true, deny Allah, deny God. But what about these beings? You can't deny Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He lived in a perfect way, even though outer events were sometimes very harsh, very unjust, very difficult. But he had the same, if you like, inner quality of joyfulness, contentment, and trust in Allah's perfection. We are stuck with that. You can't deny the prophetic profile. So, in order for us to improve our intention, as in Arabic we have husnul niyyah. There are a lot of traditions on that, the goodness of intention. Then salamatul niyyah, the well-beingness of intention. You may have good intention for someone, but it is not appropriate. The fellow has to suffer. You can't, so it is not out, it's out of place. You have generosity, but you will choke the fellow with more chocolate or more food. He or she may have to fast. It's not out of context, out of place. And then safa'un niyyah. And then ikhlasun niyyah. There are dozens of these different categories of intention. There are different keys. And then of course the reverse of it also, there is su'un niyyah, bad intention, ill will, which we suffer a lot from wherever we are. It has to be. There is no possibility in this world to have anything or any ideas or any thoughts or any values without their opposites. So watch out for su'un niyyah. I want to take revenge. I want to show him something. And if you listen carefully, you will hear a lot of that. All the time when somebody tells you about it is their fault, it's expressed for his anger and love to revenge. It's his fault. Let him do it. He has to do it. He clears it. It implies that I don't have that goodness overflowing from my heart. I want to clobber others because I have not been allowed to play God. That's what it really means. Su'un niyyah is the first thing we start off by guarding against. Why are you doing it? Why do you want to do that? Why? Because you will hurt yourself. Because in truth, and we'll find this out in the next talk more deliberately, and in the last talk, that in truth there is no otherness. They are all mirrors of the oneness. But the mirror is tarnished. And this tarnished of the human mirror needs you and I to work at it ourselves. Nobody else can come and clear your muck. They can help you on the outside. وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِّرْ. They can tell you there is a lot of filth on your clothes. But what about what's in your head? What about in your heart? Who knows that? So the main feature of this business of intention and niyyah is being described in a most potent ayah, Surah Al-Isra. قُلْ كُلٌّ يَعْمَلُ عَلَى شَاكِلَتِهِ. And when they asked the great beings in early days, what does shakilati means? It really means, for our language nowadays, the way he is formed. Shikl means form, but it implies intent, his overall condition, his state. So also it means niyyah. Everyone acts according to their intention. We have beautiful bodies of traditions and teachings from the Prophet about niyyah, such as إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. And there are details and long. Your action is as good as your intention. And then it goes on, say, if your intention is to discover higher knowledge, you will get it. If your intention is to find a woman to marry, you will get it. If your intention to make a business, you will get it. But you'll pay the price of it also. In other words, to what extent are you distracted from the ever constant purpose of you being in this world? Your purpose in being in this world, to have constant access to the original light, original energy, original command of be, of the dot, of the Bismillah or the kun. If you access that, then you have a reference point. If you don't, it becomes relative. He said this, I said that, everybody's doing that, everybody's lying, I'm going to lie. It never ends to the original light, original energy, original command of be, of the dot, of the Bismillah or the kun. If you access that, then you have a reference point. If you don't, it becomes relative. He said this, I said that, everybody's doing that, everybody's lying, I'm going to lie. It never to have constant access to the original light, original energy, original command of be, of the dot, of the Bismillah or the kun. If you access that, then you have a reference point. If you don't, it becomes relative. He said this, I said that, everybody's doing that, everybody's lying, I'm going to lie. Light, original energy, original command of be, of the dot, of the Bismillah or the kun. If you access that, then you have a reference point. If you don't, it becomes relative. He said this, I said that, everybody's doing that, everybody's lying, I'm going to lie. It never ends anywhere. So watch out. Original light, original energy, original command of be, of the dot, of the Bismillah or the kun. If you access that, then you have a reference point. If you don't, it becomes relative. He said this, I said that, everybody's doing that, everybody's lying, I'm going to lie. It never ends anywhere. So, one is right. The prophetic teachings, النية أفضل من العمل. The niyyah is better than the action itself. النية أساس العمل. Niyyah is the foundation of your action. If the foundation is not right, what are you building? الأعمال ثمار النيات. All the actions are the fruits of whatever were their intentions. يحشر الناس على نياتهم. All human beings will end up in their qiyamah and their hashr and in their ultimate destiny according to their niyyah. من الشقاء فساد النية وعندها تزول البركة. There is a great secret in this tradition. It says it is misery that if your niyyah is not right, because by that there is no barakah. So if you want to see if there is a barakah, which is an increase in its own, if you like, inner energy, there is, there is, we call it good chemistry, good place, good situation. We had a lot of barakah. It says barakah will disappear when the niyyah is not right. So, these are the keys we have in this atlas, which we want to drive along, to not only have just temporary success, to have access to victory that is ever radiant. Allah is ghalib. Allah is the source of victory. وَلَا غَالِبَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. No one wins at the end except Allah. وَلَا مَالِكَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. I was just received a most wonderful manuscript by Salami. It is one of the earliest manuscripts of Quran. And there's a copy of that manuscript. And it said on it, on top of it, in that old script, this manuscript is owned by so-and-so. Someone else later who owned that manuscript, he said, وَلَا مَالِكَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Nobody owns anything except Allah. Anyway, so we have to always improve our niyyah according to the level we can. If you have been in every way seething with hatred, with enmity, animosity, you can't suddenly say, no, I love the other person. It's not true. Because the ayah tells us it is one of the pinnacles. And when you meet your enemy, وَإِذَا الَّذِي بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَهُ عَدَاوَةٌ كَأَنَّهُ وَلِيٌّ حَمِيمٌ, close to your heart. It is وَلَا يُلَقَّاهَا إِلَّا ذُو حَظٍّ عَظِيمٍ. Not everybody gets that, so be patient, strive, struggle, be in jihad, until such time you taste a bit of that love for all of creation, including the wasp that has bitten you. And be honest to it. Be honest. And honesty is the ultimate survival, if you like, raft. Now we come to the amazing also ways that we can improve our niyyah. There is an ayah in the Quran that many of the Sufis sing constantly. لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. You will never achieve birr, some wonderful word in Arabic, 2 letters, be and re. And from it are many other derivatives. You change some of the dicatric, it becomes bar. Bar, it becomes desert, openness, space. Bir means uprightness, piety, correctness, well-beingness, wholesomeness. The ayah says, you will never achieve the state until you give that which you love to keep. This is again, how do you purify your intention and your mind and your heart? Giving that which you want to keep. And that's not an easy thing. Nabi Allah Musa comes back and he was delayed by 10 more days. And he told them, watch out. And he told his brother, look after them, make sure all of these years of work doesn't go astray. And he finds the whole thing has gone to kaput. He holds his brother's beard and his hair, and he was a very powerful man. He nearly dislocated the fellow, his brother. So watch out, Harun, whoever. And they said, what have you done? And then Harun just manages to tell him that they would have killed me had I not given in. And then Nabi Allah Musa realizes the higher voice, because he had a good project, good niyyah, good intention, good action, work, suffering, jihad, sacrifice. Suddenly he then talks to Allah. He says, In hiya illa fitnatuk. It is none other than your fitna upon me, to test me, that I'm not going to dislocate this poor fellow's head. What else could he do? He had to give in. I also have to give in. This is your plot. Why? Repeatedly the Quran reminds us, Inna Allah bi kulli shay'in muhit. Allah has enveloped all. Have you done your utmost? Have you purified your intention? Have you done the right action in the right way, in the right place, with the right counsel? If the answer is yes, 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 then see what Allah's message is for you. Then you are clear. Then you have no regrets going back and forth in time and blame and claim and all of that business. You have done what you can. You have been diligent inwardly and outwardly. Then there is nothing left. So have a good time. Allah has created you here in this world to practice experiencing the inner garden. وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتان. You just heard them reciting. One garden, glimpses of the garden here. But the other garden is the perfect field, the energy field of the Jannah that all of us will experience, inshallah, after we have moved away from this zone of duality. Here you cannot have a pleasure without displeasure. Not possible. Light unless there is with it darkness. Day without night. Impossible. This is, so to speak, the symbolic fall or return or coming down or the descent of Adam. No escape. Until such time you discover the garden is here, but you and I can only taste it inwardly, inner, and then ultimately we are returning to it. Because where else would you go other than the perfect state of light upon light? But we have, in the meantime, have our jihad and improving the qualities of our actions. How do you improve the qualities? What are the virtues? Forbearance, forgiveness, humility, patience, generosity, trustfulness, modesty, justice, goodwill to all. Selfless actions, khidmah. Sometimes do it for money, sometimes do it for its own sake. You will enjoy it. Let go because you don't have it. Let go of what? Of life. Who gave you this life? Practice it now and you will be amazed that you are the guest of the Creator Himself. It's not only when you go to Hajj, labbaik, labbaik. Why not now? Why not every instant? Why not every day? Why not every... Practice it until you find truly we are Allah's guests. And then you'll be amazed at the countless wealth that there is there waiting and the gifts that come to you. Then you can only again express more gratitude. So all of these virtues are foundations and qualities for good actions. Then of course all of our duties. Our deen gives us the entire package of our duties towards parents, families, mankind, husband and wife, between them, to the elders, to those who are sick, those who are dying, and the graveyards. All of aspects of worship and ibadat, all of the packages of mu'amalat. How do you do it? How do you interact? What about communication? What about trade? You will never, I have not found in my life, two partners, especially when they are young, that have went into partnership for getting something out of the world, making money, power, unless they fell apart. Because the intention was about dunya. Dunya is about separateness. You will separate. In the olden days, we hear some stories that eventually the wise man who wanted to enter into partnership, they go into the hammam, they also make ghusl, they read Quran, and then they put their hands on each other. May Allah bless us in this, and may Allah guide us, and may Allah not allow us to quarrel about a world that is itself a shadow. I've not seen anybody in these days, before they go to the bank or to the lawyer to sign, they go to the hammam and have 2-3 days of these. They say, yes, that's a good business, let's do it quickly before it passes, before others discover it. Meaning monopoly, let's be before others, as they did in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and he forbade them. Get out before the others when the qafilah is coming from Damascus, so as you catch them before anybody sees the value. We're all trying to be clever. We're all sneaky. There was a snake in us before. We evolved from all of that. We're all trying to be, deceptive. Don't tell him you want that. No. Show as though you don't like that carpet. Of course, we're all sneaky. There was a snake in us before. We evolved from all of that. We're all trying to be, deceptive. Don't tell him you want that. No. Show as though you don't like that carpet. Damascus, so as you catch them before anybody sees the value. We're all trying to be clever. We're all sneaky. There was a snake in us before. We evolved from all of that. We're all trying to be, deceptive. Don't tell him you want that. No. Show as though you don't like that carpet. Of course, when the qafilah is coming from Damascus, so as you catch them before anybody sees the value. We're all trying to be clever. We're all sneaky. There was a snake in us before. We evolved from all of that. We're all trying to be, deceptive. Don't tell him you want that. No. Show as though you don't like that carpet. like that carpet. Of course, Ibrahim discovers that very quickly. You see, he said, no, don't look at the carpet that you want. Like that carpet. Of course, Ibrahim discovers that very quickly. You see, he said, no, don't look at the carpet that you want. Man amala salihan, he who acts correctly, whether they are male or females, وَهُوَ مُؤْمِنٌ, and there is trust in the heart, in that I am only acting because of the nur of Allah in me. Iman is security. I am secure that Allah is driving me, that Allah's nur is making me do it. Now is the crux of it. فَلْنَحْيَنَّهُ حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا. We will give them a life that is sweet. Meaning the life you are living now is sometimes bitter, sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes up, sometimes down, sometimes friendly, sometimes... That means you will be transformed. That is the talk of the next week. It is transformative life. This life is biological. The other life is spiritual. Is a life that you were created, designed for its sake. And all of the ups and downs is the kindergarten, is the nursery in this life for you and I by will to say that, look, I've been through all of this. Please don't tempt me. I've fallen into that trap many times. I want a goodness that lasts forever. I do not deny worldly goodness. I do not deny physical attributes. I do not deny rationality. I do not deny causality. But equally I uphold that which is beyond it, within it, before it, and after it. The other ayah, man amana billahi, he who trusts in Allah's ways, in Allah's presence, in Allah's absoluteness. وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, and that we are going to move into another life after death. وَعَمَلَ صَالِحًا فَلَهُمْ أَجْرُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ. They'll have their reward with their Creator. Now here we have measures. لِكُلٍّ دَرَجَاتٌ مِمَّا عَمَلُوا. Another ayah. Everything has its degrees. It's not just haphazard. مَنْ عَمِلَ سَيِّئَةً فَلَا يُجْزَى إِلَّا مِثْلُهَا. When you do something wrong, you will be given its equal and opposite. But when you do something good, it multiplies. So everything has its measure. And then look at this beautiful ayah. الْمُجَاهِدُونَ في سبيل الله بأموالهم وأنفسهم. It's about those who do jihad, do their best with yourself, with your time, with your mind, with your life, and with your wealth, with whatever you have been loaned. What wealth do you have? What happens if somebody comes to you and says, you only have 3 minutes to die? Wouldn't you give half of your wealth? Wouldn't you give 90% of your wealth? Wouldn't you give 99% of your? You start bargaining, of course. And of course, once you become well, you say, no, did I really say 90%? And then there are about 50 ayahs which complement this. يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور. Allah will take them out from darkness to light. لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم. They will be forgiven and they will be given great rewards. لهم أجر غير ممنون. لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار. There are at least 40 ayahs of these جنات تجري تحتها الأنهار connected with amal. So you will experience the garden if you truly do that for its own sake. Say, I really don't know what came over me. I had no expectations. I had the right intention. And I hope Allah will forgive me if I had a hidden, if you like, subtle, subconscious stupidity. May Allah. So as it reveals it for you, by your own action, you realize, no, you had something little hidden there. Then we come, how do you improve our intentions? How do you make your intentions action improve? Fikr. Lots of ayahs. أَفَلَا يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Dhikr. Remembrance of the nur of the... اذكروا الله ذكرا كثيرا. مراقبة. Watchfulness. إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلَيْكُمْ رَقِيبًا. Allah is watching over you. Every cell knows you. Who are you trying to kid? Then محاسبة. إن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله. Be accountable against yourself. Allah knows what is in yourself. The Prophet ﷺ says, المتقي يحاسب نفسه في مطعمه ومشربه وملبسه وكل أعماله. He who is truly on this path, who is cautious, who wants goodness, who wants salvation, who wants to be saved from himself, by Allah's rahmah, will be accountable for himself in what he eats. How much are you eating? What are you eating? Is it the right thing? This morning I was told samosa was one of the names of the fallen gods of Sumeria. So his name was samosa. What are you? How hot? So what you're eating, what quality, and in your drink, what are you taking? How much? Is it late? Is it? And what are you wearing? Is it to show off, or is it just to be correct? And every action he takes, he's accountable. We are in ghafla, we are in distraction. Destruction, it will lead to destruction. That's what it is. So we are caught in that. Surah Al-Asr tells us the whole story. We are all at a loss. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. Watch out, there is only haqq. وَلَا غَالِبَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. We have all come from Allah, by Allah, unto Allah, and then have patience. If you have done your utmost, have patience. Patience is the entry to a zone of timelessness. So therefore we are all in jihad. Good action and pure intentions end from by who, unto who had begun them all, Allah Azza wa Jal. The original light of Allah Azza wa Jal will lead us to it, by it. But we too have to have will and good intention and good action and accountability and willingness to review it all every instant and take istighfar. Return back. Anibu ilallah. Return back to that, and Allah is all forgiving. And then you move into this amazing acceleration from darkness into light, from ignorance into knowledge, from feeling insecure to having utter certainty and security and joyfulness. Wassalamu alaikum.
Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Salawat wa
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad.
Come on, I'm starting.